Hi guys.
Hi guys.
Compliments of the season.
Yeah.
Welcome to our YouTube channel. My name is Praise and this is my husband Francis.
Hi.
Yes, in the spirit of our wedding anniversary month, we have been putting out some videos and today we are going to be doing a Q&A. If you are interested, then keep watching. Okay, so let's go on. The next question is about sex. So this one says, I've heard time and again that communication during sex is important. Very true. Everyone keeps saying it, so they must all be right. Abi, the cocoa is, how do you make this communication less awkward, especially when it's your first time? So the person goes ahead to say that in movies, I've seen them take alcohol to settle nerves. Even though they are not subscribing to it, I'm just imagining it and it's hilarious. For example, maybe the guy asks, where do I put it? Or the lady is like, touch me here. Let me answer. Let me be the first person to respond to this question. See,
you like bad?
Yes, I do. So sex is not a bad thing, by the way. It's a beautiful thing.
No, mind,
yeah, he was just kidding. Communication in sex is very important. It's not overemphasized. It's not overrated. It is very important that you communicate in sex. Now, this is where I would bring up the issue of marrying somebody that you're very comfortable with. Before you get married, I assume that you people have talked about sex. In fact, I encourage that you talk about it. What are your fantasies? What would you like to see? What do you think about foreplay? What do you think about this position? What do you think about this? What do you think about sex toys? What do you think about... You've talk. See, when you read things or you consume things, talk. We had all sorts of conversations. There were times I would read something and they would say, oh, a man can just be erect without being aroused. And I'll carry my phone. Bim, this is what I read. Oh. Is it true? Is this true for you? You know, we'll talk about... So the moment I pick up my phone and say, I want to ask you something, it's a bit awkward. He already knows where I'm going to. We talk. It didn't happen in one day. I used to be very frigid. I used to be very shy. And to be honest, all the time I couldn't say sex with my mouth. Yes, but now I'm a pro. But the most important thing is, even before you start having sex, it's important to communicate about sex. And then when you start having sex, same, especially for beginners, this is what I tell people. Most times they say, oh, as a guy, you're supposed to take her to the moon, blow her mind, shift her womb. If the both of you are beginners, uncle, there is no mind that you are blowing. You are going into that thing with the intention to love on your wife, to know, especially the first time. The first time is not going to be interesting. It's going to just be annoying. Am I lying?
Yeah,
if this is the first time for the both of you, it means that the both of you are virgins.
Guy, you're talking about the sex passionately.
No, I'm serious. So I can do a master class on this. The first time is a knowing. You people are just getting to, it's a fusion. You people are just getting to know each other. Yes, you've talked a lot of theory. Now this is practical. Uncle, if this is your first time, you most likely don't even know where to put it. Yes. Auntie, it is your job to say, put it here. See, sex, people have made sex look like one very serious, solemn activity where you can't... You need to learn how to laugh at yourselves. Have conversations. If it's not working, it shouldn't be such a touchy topic that the both of you can't laugh about it, that the both of you can't talk about it. I see things on social media and I'm wondering, how are you people married to each other and you can't have conversations like this? If you have wax sex, both of you can look at yourself and say, that sex was whack. And you don't take offense as a man, she doesn't take offense as a woman. Of course, know who your partner is and know the kind of language to use, because some people are extra sensitive. But yes, please communicate. Learn yourselves. Know your body, know how your body works. Talk, have conversations. For the first time, you don't know. See, if that's not the time to come and be saying, I want to shift her womb. You're not shifting anything because you don't even know your way to the road. You know how the Bible says that because he does not know his way to this.
The labor of a foolish man wearieth everyone around him, for he does not know how to enter into
the city. To be a wise person, you will ask the person that has the key to the city, Ogbeni, where I go put him? Yes. And you too, if you are the keeper of the city key, tell him that uncle is not there, he's here. It's communication. How do you think things will go well if you don't communicate? Of course, I expect that you'll be nervous at first, but I mean, if this is a knowing. Bible says that the both of them were naked and they were unashamed. Have these conversations. Talk about things. Auntie, if he's touching you in a place that he thinks that he's taking you to cloud 9 and you're just there rolling your eye, redirect his hand and say, uncle is not there, he's here. Yes, because you know your body better than him. It is left for you to teach him or teach her how to make this thing pleasurable. Because when we come to the marriage bed, we do not seek to just satisfy ourselves. We seek to satisfy our partner. If the both of you come with the mind to satisfy each other, that is when sex is beautiful. And to be able to satisfy each other, the person who knows themselves is the only person that can teach you how to pleasure them and how to satisfy them. So yes, communication. I'm sure I've not overflogged this issue. In fact, I can talk about this over and over and over. But communication during sex is very important, especially if the both of you are rookies. Even if you are not rookies, but this is your first time together, you still need to learn each other. It takes a while to learn a person. After a while, you begin to have rhythm. You begin to have a flow. Yes, you need to diversify it once in a while so that it doesn't become boring. But it takes time to get to know a person. You read all sorts of things and they tell you if you kiss him at the nape of his neck, he gets aroused. Then you now go and get married to somebody that it's only when you tickle the toes, his toenails or whatever it is. So you need to learn. You need to take time to learn each other. And the best way to learn is to communicate. Open your mouth and talk. If it was very good, let her know that, babe, it was very good. She just started riding you. The first time she did it could last only 2 seconds, because riding a person is not easy. All of a sudden you come one day and she does it for 2 minutes and she takes you to the moon and back. Open your mouth and say, babe, that thing you did enjoyment can kill somebody in his life. Talk, communicate. It's just sex. It's not that deep. And people have rules. People say, you don't talk during sex. Figure out what works for the both of you. Freestyle. It's supposed to be fun. It's not supposed to be one burial ceremony. It's supposed to be fun. So yes, please communicate.
What else can I say? When it comes to sex, right? I think that people are overly serious with sex. One of the things I would really, really advise you to do is both of you should spend time getting to know yourselves individually. Because when you learn about yourself, you can teach your partner about yourself and what makes you. And there are ways to get it done without crossing your moral boundaries, right? Sex is very enjoyable. It's very beautiful. It's very interesting. And I think that you should spend a lot of time before you get married talking about what your fantasies are. And because these things are things that would, if you care is not taken, they make or break your marriage. As fickle in quote as it may sound, right? But it's very, very, very crucial. Right? Now, in having sex, don't be too serious. I can count, in fact, there are some times when we start and something just going one kind, I will just stop, I will just start laughing. And then after we finish laughing, it's okay, let's go back. And then we go back. Like, so
there's time for everything.
There is time for everything. You don't, when I say that, don't take it too seriously. As much as you need to also take it very seriously. Yes, so you understand? So we just laugh, and we laugh at each other. We make it easy. Okay. And like my wife has said, if there's something that someone has done, right, or your partner has done that you really like, comment, man, Men talk, open your
Your
mouth.
mouth. If you want her to moan more, tell her, baby, you don't need to moan, no.
Do you understand?
Moan well for me.
Just talk about it. Communicate. Thank you.
Yeah, so, and as a man, your entire ego should not be hinged on your performance.
Yeah.
Especially the first time. The both of you are learners.
Very, very important.
Yes, you both of you are learners. You're coming into this thing with the mind to learn and to please each other. So don't hang your entire ego on your performance because you've heard that as a man you must take her to cloud. Now you don't know the road into the city. You are a fool for now until you start to ask for directions and then know the way and then know her body. Then you can slay her womb if you like. But don't just talk, okay? Talk. It's not that deep. So the next question says, now that you are married, would you say that you are able to live out your sexual fantasies?
Yes, actually, because but not all my fantasies, because I mean it's just 1 year,
yeah.
Right? But one of my fantasies was having sex.
So so before we even got married, having sex in itself was a fantasy for us.
You understand? So I have other fantasies that I have not been able to fulfill because it is location based, really. So but aside from that, I'm not sexually frustrated. No. I'm fulfilled.
So yes, I think same goes for me. I think I have been able to live out some of my sexual fantasies. We have a bucket list that will take a while to expend. Some of them we've not found ourselves in certain circumstances to allow us to live out that fantasy. For some we've not been to the location where it has to happen. Where it has to happen. But yes, I think that getting married has helped me live out my sexual fantasies.
All right.
And this one says that, would you say that marriage has helped you grow spiritually?
Yes, I think marriage has helped me grow spiritually because versus when I was a single guy, now I know that I am responsible for other people's lives. So my decisions, my actions, my inactions, I weigh them vis-a-vis how it affects my life and the life of my family members, not just me alone. So let me give you an example. So there are things I do, or there's something I want to do, and I ask myself, how will this affect not just me but my family? Does this have a repercussion on not just me but my wife, my children? How? So that is how. So it now makes me extra conscious of my decisions. Yes, I used to be while I was single, but now the awareness is more there. So I take out time, I pray for my family, I pray for my wife. There are times when I just wake up and my wife is sleeping and I'm looking at her there and I'm just praying for her. You understand? So I think that it has helped me to grow spiritually. And yes, that's what I can really say.
So for me, I would also say that marriage has helped me grow spiritually. If you watch our love letters, when I was reading my love letter to Francis, there was a place where I said that my relationship with Francis has given me more context into my relationship with God, and that is just the absolute truth. So I knew God before I got married to Francis. I had a relationship with God before I got married to Francis, but my everyday interaction teaches me more about God. It just brings my relationship with God into context. And like Francis said, this marriage, you need God and you need wisdom. I know how many times the Holy Spirit has helped me, has saved me from unnecessary quarrel, or has given me the wisdom to act in such a way that issues did not escalate. So yes, in ways that I may not even be able to put into words, I strongly believe that this marriage has helped me grow spiritually. So the next question, we're almost done by God's grace. This person says, you have always hated someone touching your skin. This is someone who really, really knows me. I wonder if that is still there or you have suppressed it for the love of your life. Now, this question is directed to me. If you know me to a reasonable extent and you're somebody who likes to touch, you will know that I hate it. So there are people who can't talk with her. Hey, Francis, don't touch me. don't touch me. I don't like to be touched. I don't like to be touched. And it was a little challenge for us because one of Francis's predominant love language is personal touch. Francis likes to see when I'm stroking Francis's back. You need to hear the way he's satisfied in that moment. He's the world. The problem of the world is over. He's just like, oh, I'm just stroking. No, Francis enjoys physical touch. So if he, I don't know how to explain this.
I don't cast.
I think I've become better.
Yeah.
It wasn't easy at first. Francis wants to stroke me when I'm sleeping. I'm a light sleeper. Don't touch me, guy. Don't touch me. But I know that I need to. This marriage, you have to learn how to make sacrifices. He really enjoys, and he's not touching me to disturb me. He's touching me because it's his own way of expressing love. So I have learned to receive it. I still have my moments where I do not want to be touched. But Francis, can you say that I have gotten better?
Yeah, I think she has. So compared to way back when she was even in school. So in terms of being held. So for example, she's my friend.
Being held like.
Well, I want to hold her like this. Sorry. Sorry. I want to put a prayer. So I like to hold her like this back when we were in school. But sometimes she'll be like, nah. So that was when I realized that I needed to ease into it. So as time went by, she became a lot more comfortable with me holding her by the hand. And now that we are married, I
don't let him see it.
She does not used to let me, so I hold her. Yeah, so the rest they say. So the rest they say, right, is history. Yeah. So I think it just I think she just got used to me.
I still don't like being touched.
She still don't like being touched.
I still don't like people touching me. But I have.
She's gotten used to me.
Yes, I have gotten used to Francis.
Husband privileges.
Yeah.
All right.
So the next question, it says, what do you do at times when you just want to have your you time, but you're in the same house with your spouse? So, I'll speak for myself. If we are both in the sitting room and I feel the need to separate myself, which I do quite often, I go into the bedroom. I just carry my utensils, carry my laptop, carry my notepad, carry my phone. Sometimes I just stay in the room. What I've tried to do is when I'm taking time off, I just let him know, Beam, I'm in the room. I'll be in the room for a while. I just need to stay alone for some time. And he'll be like, oh, well, no problem. So if he's in the sitting room, I go into the room until he's tired of being in the sitting room alone. And then he'll come and peep and be like, Babe, you already know that, yeah, come, it's all over. I think the same goes for him. So we just simply take time off, go into the room or come into the sitting room, just go into the next place where you can be alone. It's pretty simple.
Yeah, pretty much simple.
Yeah. And we both know that he knows I'm not angry. It's not because I'm angry with him. It's just, you also feel that
exactly.
Now,
it's just you just taking time for yourself.
Yeah,
really.
it happens. Sometimes you just want to be alone. It happens. This is the last question. This is the last question we can take. We've tried. What were the necessary preparations you made that are useful in marriage?
What were the necessary preparations we made that were useful in marriage? One, we talked a lot. Right? We talked a lot.
About everything.
About everything and just about anything. And I think that it played a significant role in how we're doing maritally, because we went on dates, and in these actual dates, we had conversations. We'll bring up a topic. Are we having kids? How many kids are we having?
I read this somewhere. What do you think about it?
So we talked and talked till there was almost no area that we had probably not mentioned, or we had probably not touched areas. An area that we're probably not touched. So that prepared us for marriage as well. Also, we spent time in premarital counseling, and I think this cannot be overemphasized. I remember that a day to my wedding, I think about it wasn't a day, a few days to my wedding, I actually reached out to a senior friend of mine, and I I just sat down with him, and then we just talked because he's been married for, and then he shared a lot of beautiful insights with me, which I found very, very useful. And then we have a lot of people who we're accountable to before we got married, right?
We had 3 premarital counseling sessions.
Exactly.
2 in 2 different churches and 1 professional.
So it cannot be overemphasized, because what these things do for you is it reveals in 3D who you are and who your partner is. And then you know that this is what I am signing up for. And then you go in with your 2 eyes essentially open, right? So communication, we talked a lot. I think that was one of the things that made
the major
easy,
things
that made it that we did in terms of preparing for marriage.
So we also spent time growing individually. Like I said earlier, the me that I am now, I'm not the same person Francis met 9 years ago.
I agree.
And Francis is no longer the same Francis he was 9 years ago.
Very
so
true.
We have evolved. And we grew individually and we grew together.
Exactly.
So it wasn't a situation whereby one person was growing exponentially and the other person wasn't growing. No. Every new knowledge we get, we share it with each other. So we're growing at the same pace. We're growing at the same rate. We can still hold intellectual conversations now like we held on the very first day we met, because we're constantly updating ourselves individually, and we're constantly updating each other as well. So I think one of the things that really helped us and that prepared us for this marriage is that we grew exponentially. We read books. We read, we'll have conversations about the books, we attended events, we grew our minds, we expanded our capacity to learn.
Very important.
Yes, we understood the need to unlearn, to learn, and to relearn. And it has helped. See, in this marriage, you have to unlearn and relearn so many things. So it helped us. We spoke to people. We identified marriages that looked like what we wanted. We established relationships with those people. We had conversations. We still have conversations with some of them. There are a lot of things we did that prepared us for. I mean, we're not surprised at the kind of marriage we have.
Essentially, right?
We're not surprised because we worked for it.
Another thing is that we deliberately made sure that individually we came into this marriage flexible, right? Such that we're not cast in stone. I wasn't saying it was going to be my way or no other way, or she's not saying there's going to be her way or no other way. Because we learned how to adapt and how to change our minds where necessary. I can come up with an idea, and when there is superior data from my wife, I give into that idea, right? So it's not that, I'm the one that came up with the idea, I must be the one to execute it. Questions around, okay, who's going to handle family finances, who's going to do it wasn't about a gender role. It was about who's most competent to do it, really. So we came with the mind to be flexible, with the mind to switch positions between being a teacher and a student, right? It's very, very important. There are times when I sit down and I learn from my wife. There are times when she sits down and she learns from me. So I think that's one of the major things that really also helped us in terms of preparing for marriage.
Yeah, so these were some of the things that we did. I'm sure there is so much more that we can't
remember.
But
we can't remember.
We read a lot. We consumed a lot of information.
Yeah,
we consumed a lot of good information. We read. We talked. See, we talked. I don't know what people go on dates to do. We talked. Like there is hardly anything. I know it's just our first year, but we talked. We covered ground.
We talked. We talked. Believe me, guys, we talked.
And in talking, you only learn a person when you communicate. And like Francis said earlier, we don't come to a conversation with an agenda. I read something, I'm like, this is what I think about it. To Francis, what do you think? I'm not interviewing him. I'm not putting him on the spot. We're just talking as friends. He comes as he is. Sometimes he tells me what he thinks. I'm like, really? No, I don't agree. A conversation has started. Why do you not agree? But what if this was this one, this was that, and this was that, and we start going head to head, not fighting, no, but we get like, we're coming with data, we're coming with information, we're coming with facts, we're coming with things that we've read, we're coming with experiences, people's experiences, our own personal experiences. At the end of the day, it is very possible that we end that conversation as different people than we were when we started that conversation.
Exactly.
I can give you many examples of things that happen like that, but we talked a lot. So I mean, I encourage people to talk. There's no template. There is no.
And the truth is that in talking, that is, you know, when people say, okay, so how do you know your partner's values? How do you know what your partner?
How do you know you are compatible?
How do you know you are compatible?
How do you know you are even sexually
How do you know
compatible?
this? How do you know that? It is in the trenches of this conversation.
Yes.
You find out, because a person would always speak from their beliefs, from their convictions, and from their experiences. And these are the things that form who they are, and the actions and the inactions they take. So you begin to know, right? So you know what they are, what they are not, what they are capable of, and you can tell that this person will may metamorphose into this in the possible future. So it is very, very crucial, right? That was, I don't know, I can't say but that's what worked for us. We talked
a lot.
and we talked.
We wrote things down.
Talked.
We talked about the kind of family we wanted to have, kind of children. We wrote things down. We had a very good idea of the kind of family we wanted.
Yeah.
We have a book. We talked a lot. We communicated a lot. We prayed together. We talked to people. These are some of the things we did to prepare for marriage, or some of the things that we did that have helped us. We still talk a lot in this marriage. We still talk a lot. So we have come to the end of this video. I hope this video helps someone. I hope that we've given you nuggets that'll be useful to you. Please note that myself and Francis, we are not relationship goals. We are not relationship goals. We do not come here to be an example. We are just a proof that if you put in the work, something beautiful can come out of it. Exactly. So we're not the standard. Jesus is the standard. Follow Jesus. Yes, so we are not the standard. We're also still learning. We are not marriage counselors. We just have experience in this marriage thing, and we can speak from a place of our own experience. So I hope that some of these things we have said today, they help you, apart from getting a lot of insight into our lives. I hope that you're able to pick one or two things that will be useful to you. Thank you so much for sticking with us. Please do not forget to subscribe to this YouTube channel. Share this video with your friends. I believe it will be useful to one or two people. Subscribe, like this video, and we will see you in our next video. Thank you.